Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey. Have this beautiful brand new Road Glide. Came down from Pennsylvania. He had the install done in Florida, but the bike's loud. He complains it has no bass at all. He's a big Diamond Audio fan. There's nothing wrong with Diamond Audio. We use a lot of Diamond Audio, but they didn't use a DSP on the bike. And so with all the power that he's running, he really has no control. He's got Diamond Audio MP654s. He's got the Diamond Audio MP694s. It's a lot of power, and without the DSP, you just have no control. Then he has the 8-inch Diamond Neos, the mid-range speakers in the bags. I've been talking to Diamond Audio about this for years. They need to come out with a mid-bass driver. The 8-inch Neo is a beautiful, beautiful speaker. It's great, it's loud, it's weatherproof, but it's really a speaker to be used in the lid, not inside the bag facing the wheel. We need something with a lower FS, something that plays a little bit lower. So we're gonna have to pull those out and use Hertz 200Ls. The Diamond Audio is actually a more expensive speaker and handles more power, but it's not the right speaker for the application, in our opinion. I'm gonna let you hear what the bike sounds like before we make our changes. All we're doing is adding a DSP and switching out the 8-inch Diamond Audio Neos for the 8-inch Hertz 200Ls. Hertz makes 3 different 8s. They make 3 different 8s for a reason. They make the 200 Neo, which is the lightweight neodymium mid-range speaker that goes on the lid. They make the 200.1, which is the ferrite magnet version of the same speaker. And then they make the 200L. The difference between the 200.1 and the 200L, 200.1 is mid-range, 200L is mid-bass. That's exactly what we need in this application. And if Diamond Audio offered 3 different, then we'd be using that. So the Diamond Audio has their version of the Hertz 200 Neo. If they offered a mid-bass version, that is exactly what we use, but they don't. They offer just a mid-range, and we need something that plays lower. So I'm gonna let you hear the bike before, then we're gonna do our thing. Now let you hear the bike again. Very clean install, nothing wrong with the wiring, quick disconnects, definitely not a wiring rescue. It's just wrong speaker for the application. So we're gonna change those, we're gonna keep those, we're gonna keep those, we're gonna keep those. Kept the factory radio, which we love. We're gonna flash it, add a DSP. So let's take a listen to this bike and then see. We're gonna play the same song again after we redo it and see if we can make it sound better. We're not adding any power to the bike. We're keeping the amps exactly the same. That was the before. Now let's take it apart, put some work in, and then we'll show you the after. They did a nice job in the install, but I guess at the end they realized they need more space, and they cut the rack along with the amplifier while it was still mounted on the bike.
Carlos, do you mind if I hang out for like 30 minutes?
Bike's done. Now we're gonna play the same song so you can hear the difference. Okay, this was not a wiring rescue. We kept the same amplifiers. We added a DSP, and we swapped out the Diamond Audio mid-range 8s for some Hertz mid-bass 8s. We reconfigured the way the amplifier was wired, so now they had 1-800.4 running the front, 1-800.4 running the lids, and the 8s. Was not enough power for the 8s. So now we have an 800.4, the same 800.4 that was in there, running the upper and lower fairings on channel 1 and 2, channel 3 and 4 running the 6x9s, and now the 8s are on the amp by themselves bridged. So we've converted it to an NVS Audio Stage 3. Now it's got plenty of output, ton of mid bass. The bike plays louder now, no distortion, and now with the DSP you control the sound. The bike sounds completely different. Customer's extremely happy, and we didn't have to sell them any new equipment. We just switched the 8s, added the DSP, and the bike sounds great.
Been around and brought you down, it's true. I had some dreams and said some things to you. If I said too much, I know you're mine to lose. I had some dreams and said some things to you. Used to spend my nights out in the barroom. Liquor was the only love I'd known.
Okay, so there was a couple of things that could have made this build go better if the original shop that did the install had done a little bit of research. So they went with the Hertz Malay Pro coaxials in the lowers. The problem is the Malay Pro has a sensitivity of 90, and the Diamond Audio MP654s that they put in the upper fairings are over 100. So that means with the same amount of power applied, the Diamonds would be 2, 3, 4 times louder than the Hertz. So one of the customer's complaints is that he can't hear the lowers over the uppers. It's not a quality thing because the speakers cost the same, They couldn't fit another set of MP654s in the lowers. I guess they didn't realize that if you run a 1/2-inch spacer, those speakers drop right in. Or they could have stayed in the Hertz line and got in the SPL Show Neo SX165. It has a sensitivity of 98. So with a little bit of gain adjustment, the lowers would have been just as loud as the uppers. So we could have reduced the output of the MP654 by 1 or 2 dB to let the Hertz SX165 keep up. So a difference of 3 dB, you could adjust with gain. A difference of more than that, you're never ever gonna make the speaker catch up. We would have did the diamond uppers and lowers. If they didn't want to space out the lowers, then we would have did the SX. There's specification wise, they would have blended much better and had similar output. The woofer that they chose was a mid-range woofer, not a mid-bass woofer. Even Diamond Audio on their website calls it a mid-range woofer, not a mid-bass woofer, and it has a frequency response starting at 100 hertz and up, and they recommend a high-pass filter of 150 hertz. We have the Hertz 200L starting at 50 hertz, so that's a considerable difference. Then the other thing is they use the same amplifiers we would have used in the same amount of power, so it's two 800.4s. They just configured it differently. They hooked up all the speakers on their own channel, which gave the mid-bass drivers 137 watts, the pharynx speakers 137, the lid speakers 137 watts. And everybody knows that in order to make bass, you need more power on the mid-bass drivers than you do on the mid drivers. One of the reasons for that is the mid-range drivers have a higher efficiency, so they're going to play louder with less power. Mid-bass drivers have a lower efficiency, so they require more power to play louder. So we reconfigured the amplifiers. We did the uppers and lowers on channel 1 and 2. We did the 6x9s on 3 and 4, and then we bridged the second amplifier to the 8s. The bike sounds completely different now. The customer is 100% satisfied, and with the DSP, we're able to control everything. But that's it. Just a couple of mistakes that were made. We didn't have to rewire the bike. We just moved some connections around, added a DSP, and switched out the mid-bass drivers. I'm not bashing. These Diamond Audio speakers are excellent mid-range speakers. I would definitely recommend them for a lid, just not inside the saddlebag. That's not what they're designed for.